We have no leaders but looter. Man. Zimbabwe corruption is madness. I remain one blow, Mr. Blow, as I blow the corruption. Mutilation for my generation. Hear me now. Shout out to Raspi. We have a mafia government in Zimbabwe. We have no rights in Zimbabwe because the police and them soldiers are corruption. See, we have no ministers in Zimbabwe because they appoint their sons and girlfriends. Mama, corruption. The police is brutal, the military is volatile. See, corruption. Every corruption in Zimbabwe. Hear me now. How can a whole nation with ministers lost 15 billion? Zimbabwe is funny, the diamonds were given to Chinese in exchange for cheese. What about your Zimbabwe? Yeah. Corruption, 3 airplanes went missing. Mugabe and his in-laws and we're dishing. Let's talk about weak, no solar and hospital plus goats. The minister and president lie under oath. They injected Morgan and silenced the revolution. I cry corruption. They paid Nelson and stole the election. The nation left in confusion. Mr. Wamblo, I say it's corruption. Big up to you, one boy. This nation is rotten. We need a revolution. And youth on a mission. Say no to corruption. I'm about to cry now. Prophets and pastors like for cash cars from Wignell. We have fake socialite and ass-licking musicians. You ja praiser, preacher try more. Walter Magaya and you pastor Yan. Poverty makes us brainless, calling looters boss and praising corrupt military. Why do journalists fear? Big up Hopewell and blessed salute out and Soul TV. What happened to General Solomon, Air Marshal Terence Sherry, Minister SB Moyo? Where is Walter Muzembe? Don't forget more Blessing Ali. This government mama is corrupt and bloodthirsty. No to clueless government, sex for Mr. Appointments. No to gold mafia. Even you, Prophet Angel, you a criminal. We have a mafia government in Zimbabwe. We have no rights in Zimbabwe because the police and them soldiers were corruption. See, we have no ministers in Zimbabwe because they appoint their sons and girlfriends. Mama, corruption. The police is brutal, the military is volatile. See, corruption. Every corruption in Zimbabwe.
But I want to begin this by, playing, this video. The video, ZANU PF, one of their resolutions, conference here this weekend, vapedza oma sports vakati.
That whereas the 21st National People's Conference of ZANU held on the 26th of October 2024 in Flower resolved as follows. In recognition of the extensive developmental milestones and the significant socio-economic progress achieved under the leadership of the President and First Secretary of ZANU, His Excellency Comrade Dr. Mnangagwa, it is resolved that his term of office as President of the Republic of Zimbabwe be extended beyond 2028 to 2030. The party and government are therefore directed to initiate the requisite legislative amendments to give full effect to this resolution, to ensure continuity, stability, and the sustained transformation of the nation. Noting that no necessary steps have been taken to implement the above resolution, this conference hereby reaffirms this resolution and directs the Secretary of Legal Affairs and the Minister of Justice to ensure that before the 28th National People's Conference, this resolution of the party is fully implemented. Furthermore, Furthermore, all organs of the party, including the Central Committee and the Political, are directed to ensure that this resolution is fully implemented. The party.
Right. So that was Ziambi Squid reading out my resolutions Buddha mu conference ye ZANU PF ya pera nasi. If you remember last year, as he was referring to, came out resolution number 1 that spoke about the term extension, or that spoke about extending Emerson Mnangagwa's rule until 2030. So the whole of last year, we did spend quite a lot of time trying to understand and trying to figure out how this was going to be, happening. For those of you guys, who are not, or who are not fully understanding as to why this is an issue that dominated most of the conversations that were had ever since their last conference last year, their 21st conference, which took place last year in Bulawayo. The current constitution of Zimbabwe allows a presidential term to run for 5 years, and then it gives a limit of 2 presidential terms. That is in the constitution. So it means a president will come in, they will do their first term, they go to an election. If they are voted back into power, they'll do the second term, and that'll be the end for that president. So we've got a 2-term limit is enshrined in our Bible, is enshrined in our constitution, our living document. But with resolution number 1, which was born out of the conference that was held last year on the 21st, the 21st conference, ZANU PF conference last year, that resolution was asking ZANU PF as a political party to do what it can to make it happen. Kuti vamunangagwa vasvike 2030 vachitonga in line with the vision 2030. That vision 2030, they are saying that there are projects that he has started, there are things that he has started, developmental projects that he has started. And he is doing so well, such that you might, why not just let him continue, carry on, so that when we get to 2030, he will be there to bask in the glory of his achievements. Making me leave at 2028 would not be fair for him, because according to them, he's the only president. Anyway, we've had 2, but he is the only president that has led developmental projects in Zimbabwe, and who has done so many infrastructural developments in Zimbabwe, such that he deserves to be there when the achievements are being counted. So they saw it befitting that Emerson Mnangagwa should go all the way until 2030. So how do we achieve that? Make amendments to the constitution. Right. I'm not sure which section of the constitution is going to be amended here, because they are saying that he must have his term extended by 2 years. So I need to understand, what is it that they are proposing. Is it a term? Is it extending his second term, or it is abolishing the two-term limit. That is where I need to understand. Are they saying, well, they want to pass legislation which suspends holding of election in 2028 and allows Emerson Mnangagwa in the current parliament to go on until 2030 without us holding elections? So basically, to them, if they go down that legislative route, are they telling us that they are saying they are not abolishing the two-term limits? What they are simply doing is just extending the parliamentary and the presidential term from 5 years to 7 years. Are we saying we are borrowing from the amendments that extended the term of Luke Malava? Luke Malava was supposed to have retired or was supposed to have been sent home upon reaching 70 years, but instead, we were then told that what has happened here, they are not abolishing the term limits, or they are not extending his term, is in giving him another term outside of the terms that he's supposed to be serving, but they are only extending the years of retirement. Meaning that instead of retiring at 70, he is now retiring at 75. So right there, what has happened there, there is no abolition of the term limits, or there's no extension of these terms in the sense of giving him another term, but it's in the sense of just making, just ensuring that the retirement age is the one that has been tampered with here, or the retirement age is the one that has been dealt with here in terms of changing. I'm not sure whether that is the same logic that is going to be used here, because if by doing that they can turn around and say that there's precedence to this thing, meaning they can do whatever it is that they want to do in parliament and they will not go to the people for a referendum, because they'll turn around and say to us, no, it is not it is not abolishing the term limits, and it has got nothing to do with Emerson Mnangagwa benefiting from the changes to the term limits. We are simply extending or postponing holding of elections in Zimbabwe to 2030. After all, a term in Zimbabwe is a minimum of 3 years. So if one serves 3 years out of their 5 years, and if anything happens, they are considered to have served their full term. So if Emerson Mnangagwa's last term or the holding of election is postponed with another 2 years, it simply means that we are just extending this a presidential term. It is just being extended by 2 years. That does not amount to the abolition of the two-term limits. We are just extending this term here. Instead of him doing 5 years, we are just saying he must do 7 years. Instead of the parliament doing 5 years, we're just saying they must do 7 years. Meaning kuti anenge awana dzimwe 2 years, and these 2 years anyway they are under 3 years, and therefore anyone who want to argue saying Kutizo it is an abolition of the two-term limit is wrong because a two, a term is a minimum of 3 years. Munananga serve less than 3 years, even in a 5-year term. Akango serve less than 2 years chete. I qualify good anzi as serve a term of a presidential tenure. Is this is this the territory that we are going into here? Because I haven't seen, the legislative agenda that they're proposing in terms of the amendments that needs, to be done. Is the amendment on the elections in Zimbabwe postponing the elections? Could at the same time hold my elections edu muna 2028 chakwaita 2030, and that is parliament business and senate business. Azvine basa nemizvo imimi kupublic ikokoko makatoisa voice renyu imimi makaripa malegislators amukasarudza. Saka zvavachadecida kuita malegislators ava vakavhotera kuti izvo paita machanges achapa 2 years. Aiwa imimi voice renyu ratonzwi, imimi voice renyu mato exercise because you are exercising it through my representatives enyu. Vanhu vamakasarudza imimi ndo vakukumirirai. Saka it is as good as the Zimbabwean people agreeing to extend the 5-year term limit, the 5-year term limit before an election is undertaken. You are agreeing, or you are giving, or you gave my MPs you the mandate to go and speak for you on your behalf. Saka vakapinda muparliament mwemwe amendment yacho ikatebhurwa apa vakavhotera ikaenda through is the same as the Zimbabwean people having kuti vataura, they've spoken kuti it's okay Emerson Mnangagwa ngaenda hake asevhenge dzimwe 2 years. Because anything other than that, I am seeing a situation whereby we have to go via the route here abolition of the term limits, and that invites my referendums. But I'm not seeing that happening here. I am seeing the likelihood of just postponing holding of my elections in Zimbabwe, make this parliamentary term a 7-year period, and that way Chabangu and his people are looking at another 2 years after 2028, which is quite a lucrative thing for them, which is quite an appealing thing for them, because they would know Kutizo, they are going to have another 2 years. So everyone who was elected in 2023, this is to them, especially Hamadzedu Ziruko opposition. This one ichi manje ichi ndo game changer chawe ichi, because vari kutoziva kuti izvo vachange varimo for another 7 years. Because what happens to Emerson Mnangagwa should also be happening to vanhu vari muparliament, iri timu rese riri muparliament, and should also happen kune timu rese riri kukanzvuruko. Because kana tikapostpona maelection isusu muna 2028, isusu maelections edu maharmonized elections. I'm not seeing a situation whereby they will say we are only or we are now separating the holding of my elections, unless unless that is another route that they want to take, to say we are now abolish my harmonized elections. We are now going back to pre 2002 or a period yekuti president anovhoterwa pake ega, ma-MPs anovhoterwa pawo ega. We are no longer having harmonized elections, because ndo kwandiri kuona inini kunogona ngekuri kuda kutambwa ngegame racho, kuti aiwa uyu achambata uyu takungomba zvedu dzimwe 2 years, but imimi kuparliament togona kutamba nemi, but ndiri kuona paine bageni apo kuti aiwaka imimi kamukatizvo mukuru awane dzimwe 2 years kachingotipewoka dzimwe 2 years acho tobva tangobayaka zvedu 2030 yacho iyoyo. 2030 tongopinda mu2030 imomo tese ningi takaungana mukati zvova Mnangagwa wapinde mu2030 isusu topinda mu2030 tongopinda tiri vanhu vakangobatana vakangozvibatanirana ningi takadaro ndo zvandiri kuona apa inini vanhu vaMwari. But that is the reality of the thing, that we are facing. I don't know. Is this what Geza was saying? We must resist. Is this what those demonstrations were designed to stop? Which we did not endorse with overwhelming support. Now there's a call for resistance. Now there's a call for resistance. The resistance that we were talking about in the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Pataenza munongopenga imi resistance yeko nenge yamunoziya imi. Now there's that call for resistance. Vageza vakataura kuti amana resista ichinhi ichi. Sori zvenyu kwandakanga ndatangira uku ndakanga ndatangira kuti ndakamboita nge munhu ane nhafu ane makaro anoda kudya ega. Ndikazokumbira hangu riregero kuti aiwa sori zvenyu vana veZimbabwe ichi chinhu ichi ngachive chimunhu wese ngatiresiste because vakomana ava zvavari kuda kuti just imagine 2 more years yezvigananda. Just imagine chete 2 more years dzezvigananga kuti izotenge tasvika papi vachingomora zvavo vakomana vachidya noliva. Is this what we were being asked to resist? Or is this what we were saying the people must get ready and prepare to resist? I like zvanyorwa navachamisa vakati resolution iyi ndeyeZANU PF ndeye vanhu vavo, haisi resolution yemunhu wese. Saka zvakurevei? Zvakureva resistance kapa. Vachamisa vakushedzera resistance kapa. He's now saying kuti resist this. Ngatiresistei apa chinhu ichi. Hanzi chinhu ichi this thing is alive and kicking ichi ndecheZANU ichi. Chinhu cheZANU PF ichi nevanhu vayo. ZANU PF nevana vayo chinhu chavo ichi, hachisi chinhu cheZimbabwe. Saka chofanira kuresistwa ichi. Saka choresistwa sei? Because pahawo apa vanhu vaMwari ndo pakakosha apa pahawo apa pahawo apa pahawo apa poitwa sei apa pahawo. Both talk can be cheap, but pahawo apa pahawo apa topaita sei? Both vamwe takabva kuti takazova kunenge tichipreacha gospel resistance. Tikataura resistance comes in different forms. Vana Zeti vakauya panapa vakatipakurira, vana vana Masi vakauya panapa vakatipakurira, vanhu vakawanda vakauya panapa vakatipakurira. Mukatitaura kuti resistance yakamira yakadai so. Now is the time. If you strongly believe and identify with what Nelson Chamisa has said, kuti ichi chinhu ichi ndecheZANU ichi hachisi chedu ichi, we must resist. Or if you strongly believe that the work that Geza had started to say let us resist vanhu ava vana kuramba vachitonga vanhu ava vachidya vachimora vanhu ava zvigananda zvichitonga izvi 2 more years of zvigananda, and who knows what comes after those 2 more years, because they will statically took away 2 more years, and the next thing they're going to be saying kuti takuda dzimwe 5 years. Saka resistance apa inotangira papi, and how are we going to be doing that? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are. They've resolved that ED tenure must be extended 23rd. And there is a clarion call for everyone in ZANU PF to toe the line. Central Committee told the line. Politburo told the line. Warakashi told the line. Affiliates told the line. The general membership told the line. Nevamu wanagudza mudumbu hanzi told the line. But is that a clarion call for everybody to be towing the line? Uchange wakamira papi iwewe kana nguva yacho yeunzi izvo pakuda kujajwa unzi izvo makaita sei uchange wakamira papi? That is the big question. What is it if you believe kuti chinhu ichi kaichi hachifanira kuitika chinhu? Because remember they are talking about amendments and they are going to be coming to you 3 months consultation. They are going to be coming to you for 3 months. Papa, what are you going to be doing? But those 3 months, the consultation, because an amendment, a bill that is going to be introduced, before it is introduced in parliament, it has to, before it is even, it has to come, to the people. That is the opportunity where people are going to be heard. No opportunity resistance. Uchango wakamira papi? And what are you going to be doing? What kind of resistance are you going to be doing when the time comes? When they visit your community, when they come to your, to your hood, when they come to your backyard, what is it, that you're going to be doing in terms of, resisting this thing? If you believe, could you know this is wrong? What is it, that you're going to be doing? Zviri kwamuri vanhu vaMwari. But taitaura tichikurukura setinopenga tikati haiwa vana vanenge vari kuronga vana inga vanhu vari kukubudirai pachena wani kuti toda kuzvambura mapurosesi ese toisa mapurosesi edu isusu. Constitution iyi haisati kana yatomboactivatwa constitution in its entirety. This constitution, it has not been activated in its entirety, but it's being shredded and it's about to be torn with this amendment that is coming, this legislative agenda, the amendment that is coming. And the consequences of these actions, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to reverberate. That the pain is going to be experienced by those that are going to be coming in 2050, or those that will survive until 2060, or those that are going to be coming in 2100. But anyway, it's only social media and Abasa. Yes, it's only social media. As this getting a background is murungo wamata muri social media. Kuground hakuna izvozvo. Term extension yekusvika 2030 munonyeba ivi hakuna kuground uku kuhalusuneta kwamuri kuita muri pasocial media munopenga muchingotedzera najeda. Vasati vambodzoka muzimbabwe vanotokwatawo zvavo kudzoka muzimbabwe ndova munongoswera muchingoti ango vachikunyeberai 2030 yekupi kutibvira yapa imi nai 2030 yekupi hakuna chinhu chinonzi 2030 indarameni. But anyway, regai ndikuedhenisa ndananga kukosora. But anyway, thank you very much, guys, for coming through. I do appreciate you. Sometimes mumbondiregererawo dzimwe nguva ndinohumana. But kungohumanawo kwemunhu anenge achiziva kuti ane hama dzake dzaari kutaura kutandaurawo kwanenge chiita ndiri pasocial media. Nhasi wose Saturday, so kubva Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nhasi Saturday. Aiwa ndanga ndiri munhu kwai. Kana chibhodhoro handakana mbobata kana mbobata chinhu chonzi bhodhoro ndandori munhu ari bho ndakazombotaurira ndijeni ndikati iwe saka ndiri bho iri samwadoro munhu unoda bho. But anyway tatoenda zviri sei?
Ango Gerard. Mafari vandikuita so.
Vakaipa.
Aiwa ndinofara. mapenzi
Ngona
epaTwitter.
ingoma. Why are you happy?
One of mapenzi epaTwitter who have been making noise, useless noise, of trying to empower our people to conscientize them. Chinhu ndeche-ZANU PF, internal ZANU PF succession issues. Hachina chekuita nevanhu. Aiwa hangu Gerard. Ndipandirika, ndapedza basa. Ndatora pati time ndoda kunonyatsomwa because mangwana ndiripo pamba, saka ndakamwa zvangu ndichipembera foolishness of our people. We have been seeing as vanhu vanouya pamaspace panapa tichiti ngatisiyei our party allegiance or our party politics or to believe kuti chinhu ichi are internal ZANU PF issues. Internal ZANU PF issues dzinopa a resolution yekuti the party and the government should put in place
For my generation, Ilele, hear me now. Shout out to Raspi. We have a mafia government in Zimbabwe. We have no rights in Zimbabwe because the police and them soldiers are corruption. See, we have no ministers in Zimbabwe because they appoint their sons and girlfriends. Mama, corruption.